Hello, everybody. This is Nick and Gerard from the Arcade Hunters. Welcome you to episode 126 of the Arcade Hunters podcast. How's everybody doing out there today? It is the March the 29th, and we are coming to you live and in living color, taped for your amusement. How you doing up there, Gerard? What's going on?
Doing pretty good.
We are getting ready for our Easter festivities over here. So, I know you guys got dumped with snow, but down here we got about 77 was the high today, so there you go.
Our high was in the low 40s, so the snow's melting. It's almost all gone. That's
why we go into the mud season, as we like to call it.
Well, it's going to be our second round of mud season, because we had a bunch of snow. It melted and defrosted. We had mud season. They just redid some of the roads, and then all of a sudden, last weekend, we got 2 feet.
Yep. That's why, like, when we went to Fun Spot for the first time, I asked Gary, said, you got all these great games. So I said, how come you don't have any of the Dance Dance Revolution or Pump It Up? He goes, think about it, Nick. He goes, we get the mud season. I am not cleaning the mud out of these dance pads. It's not happening. I'm not getting that game. I said, I know it's fun. I know it makes a lot of money, but I ain't buying it. So there you go.
Yep. There is that and the famous fighting game story.
Yep.
And
I'm pretty sure we've said that before.
Yeah, where someone got mad and punched through I think it was not the monitor, it was the plexiglass on the outside, or was it?
He said through the plexiglass and hit the monitor.
And when he pulled his hand out, it was all shredded and bloody, looked like hamburger. Mm-hmm. And that's when Gary turned to Bob and said, "No more. We're not doing fighting games anymore."
And people, it's funny because, you talk to people from, I remember when I was talking to Justin Wong when he was when he came to visit, during the whole, when the Empire Agenda crew came. Uh-oh, did I say that out loud? Yes, I did, but he's out of it. But he said, Nick, he goes, that's lame. I said, I've seen people shot for character selection in Marvel at friggin', at Chinatown Fair.
Yeah.
I've seen people stabbed. Because he picked a cheap team where he got in the corner and he did an infinite on him. I said, I saw people stabbed. And I was like, no, this guy I said, a guy punched the screen? Yeah, so what?
Yeah, but that's Chinatown Fair versus an FEC, a Family Entertainment Center. Two different...
Yeah, it's like, and then you try to tell that to people. I was like, dude, this is a family entertainment center. Kids come and they drop their kids off, and they bring them for birthday parties and stuff like that.
Old Dirty Bastards.
New York came out.
Old Dirty Bastards not filming a music video at Fun Spot.
Yeah, ODV's not there. And as we all know, Wu-Tang is for the children. So we've got a lot of pinball news. We got a lot of arcade news. Big ups, of course, always to our good friend, Mr. Jason Knapp over at Knapp Arcade, who is breaking some of the stories. We all know if you want to go for some of the best stories, you go to Knapp Arcade. So one of the big stories they have, of course, is that Atari is coming back to the arcades. Did you hear about this, Gerard?
Yes, I did.
So Atari is coming back. Their first game is from a manufacturer. And you can tell these guys are Tron fans. Alan One. Mm-hmm. The first game, they're going to be called the Recharge series. So they've got the first game is going to be Asteroids Recharged. It's a 2 to 3 player cabinet game. So it says the 2-player cabinet is $64.99, and the 3-player is $12.99. It's got a big honking screen. Sounds like subwoofers and stuff on it, and you can play as a team, and it's got brand new HD graphics and stuff like that. So they usually make them for bars and arcades and stuff like that. It looks pretty cool. I've heard a couple people complaining about the prices. Obviously, it's not being made for the home market. It's being made for arcades.
You might have to correct your prices. You said $12.99. You mean $12,999?
$12,900.
Okay.
So it goes from 7,000 to 13,000 just because it adds another player, but also the screen's a lot bigger.
Yeah. But I just did a double take. I'm like, $1,299?
No, no, sorry. Yeah, 12. So 6,500 or 13. So there you go. So you got some big differences. Not sure how that's going to work. Obviously, we'll see how it goes. It's Atari. It's an established name. They've been around for since the beginning. So we'll see how it goes. Got the guys over at Dutch Pinball announced that they.
I was just going to add, I hope it goes better than their VCS console.
Mm-hmm. I've been hearing nothing but complaints about that.
And their hotel business.
Yep.
I don't even know. Are they still going through with the Atari Hotel?
I have no clue. I haven't seen anything on that.
Nothing's been posted in, I think, a year or two about that.
It's like, dude, they were doing Atari NFTs. Let's see how good that did.
Yeah.
You got a triangle. No, it's the ship from Space Invaders. Sure it is.
They're also selling replica PCBs for like classic Atari games for like $300. If I remember correctly, they don't work. It's just like a model of it that's like on a frame to hang on a wall.
Yeah.
So if you want to hang a frame of Major Havoc or something on your wall.
I was like, I don't know. So let's see what other news we got to talk about. We obviously had the Texas Pinball Festival. So the guys over at Turner Pinball, they have their Ninja Eclipse game. Now, when they first showed it off, a lot of people were complaining. They had this idea that, we're going to have an app, and we're not going to have a coin door on the machine. So you're going to be able to play with an app, and everybody was like, no. So basically, they redid the cabinet, and it almost looks like an exact replica of a Stern cabinet. But the difference is they have their glass has a light built in on the glass that you pick up and you take off. So that's going to be there, and I think it's around the same price that they said that there's going to be. Let's see. We got the friends, like I said, over at Dutch Pinball. They finished up their run of Big Lebowski, and I think this Saturday they're going to be tomorrow, of course. After we do this, I might have Gerard put a thing in. They're announcing their new game, so hopefully it will be on Saturday, because I've gotten a chance to play Big Lebowski. I thought it was a lot of fun. It really felt like an old school Williams game with some of the new stuff on there. Pinball Brothers is talking about another game. Now, this is weird because they showed off first. They showed off a helicopter, and it looks like the ball locks inside of it like a helicopter. And everybody's thinking, it's going to be MASH because it looked like the helicopter from MASH. But then they start showing off like a disco ball. So is this going to be like a game based off of the 70s? Or people have been saying ABBA? I have no idea. So is it MASH? Is it ABBA? Nobody knows. We have no idea. And also our friends over in Texas at Multimorphic, they showed off the Princess Bride. How about that, Gerard? Have you gotten a chance to see it?
Only bits and pieces. I'm hoping they'll make that, at least Multimorphic will make the rounds at Pintastic, New England.
Yeah, hopefully.
That's in 2 weeks. I'm going to that.
Oh yeah, we got Pintastic coming up. Very nice. So yeah, we got Princess Bride coming out from Multimorphic. Our friends over at Stern have done 1.0 updates for Foo Fighters, and also last night the 1.0 update for Venom was announced. And also on the Foo Fighters, they announced all the accessories. So we've got finally the expression rails are coming for us premium owners. I'm on the list for that. They have a shooter rod that looks like the glow missile on there. There's also the regular sides for the Pro model, and they of course announced the topper. The topper is $2,000, and it is a motorized moving Foobot head that lights up and talks to you like that. A lot of people were
I was gonna say it's a shame that they didn't release anything about the action figures they were
Yeah, because
talking
that's what
about
it was
forever.
sounding like, that it was going to be action figures like in a cabinet or something like that. But
Mhm.
apparently they just went with the acrylic of the band on there. Now, a lot of people were complaining. Even though they were clear, people just weren't listening. This is what I find it like. Oh, they weren't clear. I said, no, they were clear. You just weren't listening. So when they added the new code, there's a lot of new call outs from the Foobot. So
Mhm.
people are all thinking, oh, it's from the topper. And they said, no, the topper does not get anything new. The only thing that the topper gets is there's a new thing called Toy Time Multi-Ball, and you have to collect all of the band members to get Toy Time Multi-Ball. The only thing that the topper does is it can save it between games. And it's optional, so you can turn it off. The topper will work normal, or you can have it where it saves the progress. I'll probably have it save the progress just so I can try the mode, and then I'll shut it off so I just play it normally, you know?
Yeah.
So we'll see how that goes. Um, so Eric Stone played on Jaws. Did you see this? So
I
he found that. Yep.
You go. I saw bits and pieces, but you know, you're more the pinball guy, so you know
Yeah.
more
So
what happened or what he did.
Eric Stone, one of the top pinball players in the world. He's played over at our friends over at the Bat Cave in Lakeland, Florida. This guy knows pinball. So Eric found out that after you beat all four of the sharks, the Great White Wizard mode is not programmed in. So they found out every time he hit the reel, you would get 1,000,000 points. He was able to control his ball, that he was able to hit it, that he had 4 trillion points on it. So they've been doing this thing called the Stern March Machine Madness, and he blew up the Florida scores, and everybody decided, people will say, this isn't fair, it's an exploit. And I was like, dude, if you watched, it was on video. He didn't open up the machine and he wasn't hitting it with his
Hmm.
finger like that. So they decided to take the score away, and a week later, they had another update that got rid of it and added a couple of things to it.
That's kind of cheesy because if it's in the game, anyone else can play it. Anyone else can do that. If you're that good to
Hmm.
get to that point, you can do that. Like you said, he didn't take the glass off and flick the reel over and over again. He didn't change any programming or hacking or anything like that.
Yeah,
There's an exploit in the game, and he exploited it for the longest time. Everyone else is free to do that.
yeah. But now that's out. The new updates have been really good on the game. Gerard has played the pro, and he's looking forward to playing that premium. We want to give a big shout out to you said David, right, over at
Yep.
FunSpot. Big shout out to David over at FunSpot, the David Lawton,
Or
Dave, or Dave, not
He goes
Dave
by Dave.
Dave Lawton. Son of the Lawton family. He's really picking up the pinball over there. They have their Area 52 pinball area, and they have a Jaws Premium in a shark cage that plays shark footage on a wall. They have a projector there.
So it's
So these guys,
the new area is called the Pinball Outpost. It has an entrance that looks it's supposed to look like a space themed,
Mhm.
and the games are in great condition, really good condition. And Sarah, I always forget her last name.
St. John.
Sarah St. John. I almost want to say St. Pierre. Yeah, Sarah
Yeah.
St. John does a lot of job working on the games. I think there's a person that works for her that she's training or has trained. I think his name is Nick. He also works on the games. And if something's not working, they immediately turn it off and they fix it.
Yep.
And they keep it in that condition because they've been doing since last spring. They're part of the New England Pinball League, and they're a registered site to go and play. They've been hosting a whole bunch of other tournaments. They did a pin golf tournament not too long ago. So really stepped it up.
Now, for all you people out there that are wondering who we're talking about, Sarah was the owner of a great pinball arcade up in What part of it was like Winchendon, Massachusetts, was that, or was that Tokyo Game Action? I forget the
Tokyo
name of
Game
it.
Action was Winchendon.
Okay, but this was like her arcade was literally like you were on the road for not even 5 minutes. You were in New Hampshire from New England. It was
Mm-hmm.
crazy. But she ran the Pinball Wizards arcade, and she has like an extensive knowledge of arcades and pinball machines. So you've got a master tech helping out over there. So they really have picked up the pace of the pinball machines there over at that place up in New Hampshire. So if you have not been the Fun Spot, it's well recommended. We always say it's Arcade Hunters approved. You got to go check it out.
Yep.
So, but Gerard, Mr. Gerard,
Yes.
I know you got a hunger, and I got a hunger. Are you hungry for some barbecue? Oh, baby.
Yes, just not in my pinball.
We got to talk about it. So, thank you, Nap Arcade, for having the stuff. It's like I was telling Gerard, like, dude, we got to talk about this game, and he's like, I'm not seeing anything online for it. I didn't see a teaser for it. I said there isn't one.
Yeah,
So
I saw pictures, stills. I saw the advert, the whatchamacallit, on their website, the listing for sale. I was trying to find like one of their teaser videos or trailers that they make, like Stern does, and there's nothing. And I said that to you, Nick, and your response was,
I don't know what these people are doing, to be honest with you. So we've got from American Pinball, they announced their next game is Barry O's Barbecue Challenge. Hot sauce and hot rods. Now, if you're listening to us, if it's your first time, welcome. But if you're listening to us, you're obviously pinball and arcade fans. So you probably already know who Barry O is. But we're gonna explain it for you folks like you don't know who he is. So Barry O, or Barry Osler, was a very famous pinball designer from the 80s. He made one of the most like quintessential games of the 1980s, and that of course was Space Shuttle. That was a game that a lot of people said was one of the games that helped save pinball. So he also did, I think, Bram Stoker's Dracula. I think he had a hand in like
Taxi.
the Pinbot Taxi was what's his name? That was Steve Ritchie's brother. That's Mark Ritchie. But Barry O did most of the Pinbot games. So Barry Osler supposedly had two designs that he was working on before, unfortunately, he passed away from cancer, I believe it was. He was.
"Oh,
he was
I'm sorry, my bad." Taxi did call outs on.
Okay, yeah. Everybody did call outs.
Yeah. No, but he did like,
I want burger and the same thing in Diner. It was like, I want burger and fries, like that.
yeah, he did Fire, he did Cyclone, like you said, Pinbot, Grand Lizard, Comet, Space Shuttle.
Like I said, so they come out with this game, and it's like the front of it is like a photo of wood. And like the back is like a barbecue grill, and it's Barry O's Barbecue Challenge. And everybody's like, what are they doing over there? They have they're going to be doing a classic model, which is going to be 7,000. And there's going to be 100 limited editions at 8,500. I'm just like, I'm looking, and then you look at the game, it's very simple. It looks like there's like one. They don't have a lot of like good photos of the game, even of like the play field on it. It's like,
it reminds me of a mix between Mustang and what was that? It was a wide body game about, I think it was motorcycle racing or car racing. It was a form of him. I can't believe I forgot the name of it.
Was that the I'm trying to think of the name of it. That was Full Throttle from Highway Brothers.
Yep. Full Throttle.
Well, this one, when you look at it, it looks like Hot Wheels. And I'm saying to myself,
Yeah.
if it looks like Hot Wheels and it probably plays like Hot Wheels, I would rather buy Hot Wheels for the name brand recognition. A lot of people are all saying, like, I want to have original theme games. But here's the thing. Obviously, you folks are listening to us. You're listening to the Arcade Hunters. You're probably big pinball and arcade fans. You probably already know who Barry Alsler is. But for the sake of just, conversation, you're going to a place with regular people. No one is going to give a crap about this game. I mean, like, we have so many games that are coming out right now that are just banger after banger after banger. We've got Spooky Pinball, what we're going to talk about later, making Looney Tunes, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Scooby-Doo. Scooby-Doo voted best theme of the year. Everybody knows Scooby-Doo. It's been around since 1969. We got Jersey Jack making friggin' Elton John, popular for years and years, over 40 years. And then you go to Stern. How many games are Stern making right now? We've got they had to rerun Stranger Things because of how popular it was. We got Jaws. We got James Bond. We got Foo Fighters. We got Rush. There's tons of games that they're making that, let's say, we own the Arcade Hunters arcade. And we're going to be like, okay, what games are we going to put in? What games are going to get people excited? I'm not buying Barry O's Barbecue Challenge, that's for sure. I'll buy Hot Wheels because I really liked Hot Wheels. And the thing is that the company's been so weird with this, and we want to wish them the best because it's great to have more competition. As we all say, the rising tide, all the ships and all that other stuff. But it's just like, what are you guys doing? It's so weird.
So I saw it. I saw still shots and everything. I saw Barrios. I did not put together Barry Alsler. I thought it was based on one of the many barbecue challenge shows that are on like Food Network.
Yeah. A lot of people have said, like, you can't tell me that you couldn't have gotten like Guy Fieri or something like that, or like a celebrity chef or somebody to do that. Like, dude, I was just like, dude, put friggin' Guy Fieri in it, man. I mean, that guy, he's a big personality. You could still have it where it's, dedicated to Barry Alsler. You could have had him in, as a cartoon in there. But it's like, it's so, when you look at it, it just looks lazy because there's video that it looked like they literally got it off of like a stock footage website of people grilling. Like, you'll see like there's turkey legs on the screen. And people are, I forget who's doing the music. Let me see who's doing the music on this game. But he's like, no, Steve Bowen and Ryan McQuaid and Dennis Ornman helped work on it. I'm trying to see where David Thiel. Now, David Thiel is like one of the best pinball music people in the business. So at least with that, it'll have a decent like soundtrack to it. But I really don't see a lot of people going for this game, to be honest with you. Because Galactic Tank Force, I felt, was a huge bomb. I did not like the idea of having the target so close in front of you that you immediately hit the tank and it goes right down the middle. I didn't think that was a... And Dennis Nordman makes great games. I love some of his games. So, I don't know, my friend.
Yeah, I don't know either. I hope it plays well. I'll probably get a chance to play it at Pintastic. It has been popping up at during certain trade shows and conventions and stuff. But like I said, when I first saw it, I thought Barry O was one of these many barbecue people that are on TV. I didn't know who they're referencing.
And then in the land of arcades, like we said, we mentioned Atari's coming back. They just announced today they had the teaser trailer for one of my favorite characters in Tekken. Eddie Gordo is coming back to Tekken, so he's going to be there. And SNK finally showed off Fatal Fury City of the Wolves. Everybody just wants to call it Mark of the Wolves too, but I'll say City of the Wolves. It looks absolutely amazing. A couple of folks got to play a demo of the game, and it looked really, really good. I can't wait for it. It's definitely one of my favorite games on the Neo Geo, and I'm glad they're bringing it back. It's a brand new Fatal Fury game. You know, it's nice that they're not just doing King of Fighters, King of Fighters, King of Fighters. We're going back to the beginning. I like it. So did you get to see any of the footage of it?
Yep, I've seen some. I did see some of the footage. I like how it has. It's the artwork's obviously updated, but it has that almost like cell shading, dark outline kind of.
Yeah, it kind of looks like a. It looks almost like kind of like a comic book almost.
Yep.
I was looking at it. It's like that looks weird, but then when you see it in motion, you're like, oh, that looks really cool.
Yep. And I'm a huge fan of Mark of the Wolves. Easily my favorite fighting game ever. So super psyched for this to come out. I'm hoping it still has. One of the things I love about Mark of the Wolves is it's fairly balanced with a good selection of characters that are fast paced or a little slower. It gives you almost everything you really want. And I'm hoping it keeps that. I hope it doesn't get too funky or crazy.
Yeah. So I'm looking at this is on SNK Fandom Wiki, and it says confirmed characters, and it says Joe, Andy, Terry, and Billy Kane, but they weren't shown off. So I'm not going to say anything officially. So we'll say who's in the game. We got Rock Howard, obviously, he's back. Terry Bogard's back. T-Zoc or the Griffin, whichever one you want to call him, or King of Dinosaurs, he's back. Hopefully, her brother will be in it, but I used to use Hotaru a lot. Did you ever use Hotaru in the original? She had the really cool, like, the kicks and stuff like that.
Yep.
So, Rock, Terry, Hotaru, and T-Zoc were showed off. But now we have a brand new character. Preacher, her name is. Now, if you look at her, she's like this, she's got like, let me get the picture of her. She's got like long red hair, but she's a kickboxer. She's a Muay Thai kickboxer, so everybody is saying this is probably Joe Higashi's student. And that was one of the things that I totally forgot about. I was like, yeah, there was no Joe was not represented in that game. It was kind of weird. It's a Fatal Fury game, and Joe and Andy weren't in there. It was Terry and Rock. So we kind of have like a little bit of it says not much is known, but she might be the star pupil of Joe Higashi. So we got a little bit of a Joe representative, and maybe because like they showed like the Evo teaser photo and the Evo teaser poster that they got. I forget the name of the artist, but the artist, it shows Andy and Joe in the picture. So hopefully that means Andy and Joe will make a return into the game.
Yeah, I hope.
And it says,
I was gonna say, I hope B Jenny makes an appearance too.
yes,
That's my favorite character.
In the first trailer, people were saying that you can hear the voices of Mai, B Janet, Kevin Ryan, Marco, or Kushwood Butt, whatever you like to call him, and Gato. I freaking love Gato. So, and then they said Hotaru and T-Zoc were pretty much they're confirmed now. I don't say anything until I see them in video and see them going. Yeah. So I can't wait for that. It said in another year. I think they said 2025.
Yep, early 2025.
Yep. So looking forward to that, and hopefully SNK will keep that going in the arcades. I know like a lot of them, they'll do their what they call an esports edition, and they'll put it out in the arcades. So it's always nice to see more stuff from the masters of the 2D of the SNK.
Yep.
So Gerard, what have you been playing? I've been hearing. Gotta go for your little recap. What you got going on up there?
So I've been kind of all over the place. I ended up, when I was sick with COVID about a I'd say a month ago, I ended up looking up how to play Japanese games on the Switch and found out that it is super easy. You just have to create a Japanese account. So I did that. I started messing around with some of the Japanese virtual console games.
Yep.
And then I saw Super Robot Wars 30 and that it was in English when you get the Japanese version for the Switch. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to grab that. They had it on sale. So I think it was like $60 and it was the game plus all the DLC packs. And I've been hooked on that, been loving that game. And that actually led me to start getting back into watching anime. So I've been hooked on both, playing Japanese games, trying to get caught up on some of the new anime shows. I've been hooked on.
It's just so much of it.
Oh, I know, but I've been hooked on Solo Leveling. Is it Spy X Hunter or
Spy Family?
Spy
You're
Family?
You're
Hunter X Hunter. Yeah,
Hunter. We don't say the X. It's so weird.
Yep, Spy Family. I'm only 2 episodes in, but I'm hooked on that, and also Blue Exorcist.
It was funny. We went to see on Wednesday. We went to see Ghostbusters, Frozen Kingdom or Frozen Empire, and they played the trailer for the Spy Family movie, and everybody goes, "What the hell is this?" Like, because I was like, what's with the little girl with the pink hair getting held up by a gun? They're like, what is this? I was like, oh, it's a spy show. It's fun. So trust me, it's good.
Yeah, so I also been doing random deep dives into some older mecha animes and stuff like that. Go Lion. So just been having a blast with that. Having a blast with Super Robot Wars. I also completely fell, like, it's like McDonald's had my name, into the McDonald's promotion that they did for the 4 weeks. I immediately was hooked. Was reading the mangas, getting my thing. I would get 4-piece chicken nuggets to get the chili sauce. And that sauce I thought was amazing. But it was like the last time McDonald's did a promotion that really sucked me in was when they brought back Monopoly, and they had it where there were like 2 pieces on each food item.
Yep.
And you're almost guaranteed to have a winner. So it's like a lot of free French fries and free drinks and stuff like that.
And if you like that, I recommend everybody out there, if you haven't seen it, if you're on HBO Max, make sure you watch McMillions. Holy crap, go down that rabbit hole. Did you get to watch that?
Oh, yeah.
Holy crap.
Watched it when it premiered.
We found out, it was from the Gambino crime family.
Yep.
They said, this guy was such a big fatso, he cashed in the game piece for the Ford Mustang, and he was so fat he couldn't get in and out of the car.
Yep.
They said he ended up selling it. He said he couldn't get in the car. It's like, you dumbass. That was insane. I was telling my friends about that. Like, you got to see this movie. This is so weird.
It's crazy. And that's why Monopoly disappeared.
And they had all the winning pieces. You could never win.
Yep.
So Gerard was telling me it's Easter time. We want to talk about some of our fine little friends, the rabbits. So we're talking about Easterish games, or games that have rabbits in them.
Yep. Kind of like a spring Easter mash.
Spring has sprung. And we're going to be talking about some honorable mentions, some rabbits, and stuff like that. And I feel like we have to start off with the brand new game that's coming out from Spooky Pinball. We've got Looney Tunes is coming out. Also, this is also going to be Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Once again, they like to make 2 games with 2 different themes, so 2 totally different themes. It's so weird. Like, instead of being a meat grinder, it's Marvin the Martian's rocket, and it's it looks like the gears of it and stuff like that. So instead of having the Leatherface spinning around and dancing with the chainsaw, it's the Tasmanian Devil. It looks pretty cool. I mean, they got they have the what the hell is it? Eric Bauza who's doing all the voices, who does pretty much he does Bugs and Daffy now. So he's doing all the voices in there. He also does like a really mean Marvin the Martian. You'd never know it isn't the same guy. So it's going to be a really cool game. Hopefully we'll get to play it soon. I'm not sure of anybody locally that's getting it, but hopefully Gerard will probably play it before me if they go up to Pentasket. I know they've been slowly trickling out of the factory over there, so looking forward to playing it.
Yeah,
so what other game did you...
I was just going to say, when they announced that was going to be the opposite game of Texas Chainsaw, I thought that, again, great planning. And they have looks like some cool toys, some more, the art style's kind of that, it's a mixture of the old and new. There's like, what was it? There are these like new Looney Tunes shorts.
No, it's all the classics. It's only the classics. They don't have the rights for the new ones. It's only...
No. So the art style. So
the art style. Okay,
the
gotcha,
art style. Yeah, the art style. So like looking at Daffy Duck and stuff like that, and Bugs Bunny and the Tasmanian Devil in the playfield. It's kind of like that art style. Yeah, no, it's
more clean.
Yeah, darker lines.
The only thing that sucks is that they had to redub the voices. So like.
Yeah.
You got like even though it's like the What's Opera doc, it's like the new guy that does like, and I'm not gonna, they're doing the best they can, but when it's not Spirit Magic Helmet, that's like, that's not the real Elmer Fudd. That's like new Elmer Fudd. So
yeah.
So which one did you want to talk about first? Because Gerard listed a whole bunch of Rabbit games. There's only one that I'm surprised you didn't list it, but I played it and I actually thought it was pretty fun. But
so I'm going to start off with probably one not many people have heard or seen. You just saw it for the first time tonight, and it's called Jackrabbit, developed by, I believe it's pronounced Zakaria, in 1984.
We've heard Zakaria, we heard Zachariah, and let's say
Zachariah, I believe it is, but. Anyway.
And then, like, Gerard showed this to me, and I'm like, they made arcade games? And he goes, yeah, they made arcade games. So I was like, I guess so.
And the Jackrabbit, it's an isometric maze. Wouldn't say maze. It's isometric view, and you're a rabbit, and you have to hop around and eat all the carrots while two quote-unquote weasels chase you around.
Yep.
And there's 3 stages. One is outside your house. One is a desert stage that's scrolling, so you have to keep moving along. And then the third stage is a tropic stage.
Yep.
But what's odd is the 3 characters are pretty much exact ripoffs of Brer Rabbit, Brer Fox, and Brer Bear from Song of the South.
Thank God this was only in Italy. They would have been had their asses sued.
They're pulled right out of the characters, out of Song of the South. It has some of the very awful robotic 80s computer speech when Jackrabbit talks. He talks about how hungry he is.
Hey man, this was 84, man. We're talking like state of the art technologies over here.
Hi there. I'm Jackrabbit. I love carrots, and I'm very hungry.
I'm Jack Rabbit. I like carrots.
Yep, I'll definitely throw in some clips of it.
I was surprised one of them is it's a scrolling stage on there.
It's a clunky scrolling stage.
Oh yeah.
You ever see scrolling stages on like a Commodore or ZX Spectrum or one of the early computers where it's the MSX?
Say it right. You're gonna get in trouble. ZX. You said ZX.
Oh yeah, ZX.
Oh, you gotta be careful.
ZX.
Apologies to our European fans.
It's that type of scrolling.
Yep.
It's rough, and the game is not very fun. But the fact that you're a rabbit, it has a springish theme, and it rips off Song of the South, which it's like, why?
I can't believe they definitely, thank God it was in Italy, they would not have gotten away with that.
Mm-hmm. And I've actually played it a bunch. I have it on one of my emulators.
Yep.
And I've been playing it for a while, off and on, just because it's just to hear the robotic speech and see the ridiculousness.
One of the levels, it looks like it's like a ripoff of Congo Bongo because he's throwing a coconut at a tree at you. I was like, dude, this is Congo Bongo right there. It's like, I was even saying, I was like, it's kind of like a Dig Dug 2 with the 3/4 isometric view. You're bouncing around. It's like, but holy shit, like this is Congo Bongo right here.
But the controls are stiff, so it's like Qbert, except the ground's flat. So imagine hopping one block at a time like Qbert does, but you're trying to go on the diagonal all the way down across the screen while it scrolls over.
And I guarantee you, they probably did not have the controller inverted, so it makes it easy.
So that's Jackrabbit.
He goes like you go through the streets. All right, we showed them.
Yep.
Now, there's another one that I got to play. I'm gonna look it up because I know Bally released it. It's Rabbit Punch.
That's Rabio Lipas.
Yes. Oh, really?
That's the English version. Bally Sente released it in America as Rabbit Punch.
Yep. Yeah, Rebo Lepus. There it is. Yeah. But it's like it goes from like this anime style, and then Rabbit Punch. It uses like they kind of Americanized how the little rabbit looks on there. But I got to play it over at Galloping Ghost, and of course the photo that you see of it is the one from Galloping Ghost. Go figure.
It was developed by V System, the same company that did Aero Fighters.
Yep.
Game came out in '87. And yeah, it is a weird game.
Yep. I don't like to use the word, but I think would we be able to call this a cute 'em up?
I don't think so. That's what's so weird about the game, because you're a robotic rabbit. You have to rescue the king and the princess and some other girl. Now the king is a short old guy in a full bunny outfit, and the princess and the other girl are like playmate bunnies.
Of course.
Which is very weird. And when you play, it's got a very sci-fi kind of like art type with the background.
Yep.
And then there's just weird. The bosses they're these weird like H.R. Geiger style artwork with some of the bosses, like one in the background you see, it looks like RoboCop when his brain is exposed.
Yep.
It's
just so weird. Like I was, when you play it at Galloping Ghost, you can just hit, keep hitting continue because it's a free play arcade. But I'm just like, it's like these do not go with this background. It's just like it's like they had the characters for one game and then they had the backgrounds and enemies for another game. Fuck it, just put it together. Like that.
The final boss is this. It's this weird like big demon type night guy running around, and you can't hurt him. But there's a crack in the wall behind, and when you hit him, your shots deflect off of him. So you gotta try to deflect your shots or the missiles to bust open the crack. And when you bust open the crack, there's a corpse sitting on a throne, like a brown, rotten skin corpse. And that's what you have to shoot and blow up to beat the final boss.
Now, if this game sounds interesting to you, you can play it on Nintendo Switch.
Yep.
It's part of the Arcade Archives. It's under Rabo Lepus, or Robio Lepus, however you like to say it. But big ups to those guys from Hamster Man. All of those Arcade Archives, it's insane how much it is. Yeah. So yeah, Video System made this back in 1987.
And the way the mechanics are, your shot you can't power up. You get missiles, but you run out. You can power up your missiles, and if you get super close to an enemy or one of the cans of carrots that power-ups are in, your rabbit starts punching.
Yep.
And
hence Rabbit Punch.
Yep. And the punch is the most powerful.
Yep.
They have. You have to actually. There's spots where you have to use it just to break through obstacles. Otherwise, there's no way to shoot it through or shoot the missiles to destroy it.
In very, very Japanese.
Yeah.
Because once again, Americans, we say the man on a moon, but in Japan, it's a rabbit making mochi on the moon.
Yeah.
And that's why one of my favorite characters, Sailor Moon, is Usagi Tsukino, Rabbit of the Moon, which I would kind of count, but not really count the Sailor Moon arcade game or the Sailor Moon quiz game, even though technically they are rabbits, but not really.
Oh, we could always save some for next time.
Oh, of course. But Gerard listed one, and I'm glad I got to play it.
Oh, wait, I just want a couple of final things. So the Battle Droid robots also have cameo roles in Aero Fighters. I believe the King is playable in one of the Aero Fighters games, so there is some connection. There was a PC Engine release, but they called it, I think it was Rabio Lepus Special.
Yes, it's on PC Engine. I didn't even know this came out on PC Engine. I should play it next time I get my whenever I get my my thing fixed.
And it's slightly different, it has different stages. I think the stages are longer and not the same. So that's where the special comes from. So the only true port is, like you said, the hamster releases. The arcade archives.
And if we're talking about shooters and weird Japanese shooters with rabbits, we have to give a big shout outs to our two girls, Hakane and Hikaru from Parodius, the Rabbit Girls. Of course, they're dressed up like Playboy bunnies, and they ride around on gigantic rocket ships. And, yep, they're even in the games as final bosses and stuff like that. They're like, they're like in high school.
There's, I think it's Parodius Gokuju. I can never say the name correctly.
I have no idea. Jyoku Oribishu Paradise is like...
Yeah, I think it's that one. That's the one I used to have for my candy cab. And there's like a moon stage almost, and it is rabbits making mochi, whatever it's called. And there's rabbits running around. You fight the boss, and it's like a cardboard cutout of a girl that falls over. And it's a couple rabbits behind it and stuff. So lots of rabbits show up in that game.
Oh yeah, it's insane. There's so much stuff in there. I thought they're technically in Otamedius, which is the other kind of spin-off of Gradius. But their names are Ruby and Cobalt. They're not in they're bad guys. I played through Parody. I played it through once, and I was just like, "This game sucks."
Yes, it does.
I could barely see the shots. It was just like it was super slow. I was like, "This isn't the same company. How did they make this?"
And I'm glad I didn't. I was tempted when that game was announced to import it with the special joystick that had the pad to draw on with your finger for the bombs or whatever for the special. They had a home version. It was like over $200, and I was like, I really want to play it and have the authentic arcade feel. And
you want the authentic experience.
And I held off and got the game when it was cheap. I'm like, I'm so glad I didn't spend the money on that.
I got it like it was like super cheap, and I had the collector's edition that of course comes with a freaking pillowcase. It's like, I'm not putting this on my come on.
Body pillowcase?
No, it was just it's more of a long one, but it's not a body. It would I think that would Konami cheapened out. They're not going to give you a full body pillowcase. Come on. What are you talking about? But also, speaking of Konami, I saw Gerard had it on his list, and I'm glad I got to play a real one over at the Galloping Ghost. So we got to talk about Bucky O'Hare and the Toad Wars.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Also going back to the NES game. Now, Bucky O'Hare on the NES, of course, was a side-scroller that was pretty much kind of like almost like a Castlevania 3, where you go through and you have all the different planets, and each one of your comrades is on the planet, and you gotta rescue them, and then you get to use their powers in the game. But Bucky O'Hare in the arcade, now this is a full-on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle style beat 'em up.
But with guns. It's like combining Contra with a beat 'em up.
basically like Sunset Riders
Yeah.
or Cowboys of Wild West Moo
Yep.
Mesa.
Moo Mesa. Yep.
So it's just basically what property did you like the best? You play that one. So, but I think Bucky O'Hare was a fun game. I liked. It was cool that they had all the different characters in there.
It was a lot of fun. It had a lot of unique stuff in it for that era of side-scrolling beat 'em ups. Between there's the flying stage, the different bosses, how the guns and power-ups worked, all the different characters, and the sprites were awesome. It looked exactly like the cartoon.
That was one where I remember I'd be in that row and people would look and they would see it. They're like, "Oh my god, I remember this cartoon!" Like that. They like for some reason like it just the name kind of escaped them. But you see a green rabbit and then you know, okay, that's Bucky O'Hare.
So my first time playing that was when it came out. The flea market
Really?
in Sayville had it in the back. Yep. The place I used to have. What was it? Fun City Station or Fun Station?
Fun Station USA.
Yep. So
that was where we played Dance Dance Revolution, and they didn't lock the pads, and we almost fell off the pads.
So this was
Craig and I almost fell.
This was before that place, I believe, was open. This was like I mean, it was when the game came out, so I was a little kid. I remember I've only been in that flea market a few times. I remember the one time in the back over by where the little food area where you can get like funnel cake and hot dogs. They had it, and I played it. I just blew my mind.
I remember playing Renegade and Bubble Bobble there. Yeah, it was a fun little game. It was, I don't think they actually made a dedicated version. I think it was a conversion kit for some of the other 4-player games. So I have seen people that have made art kits for it to make it like an official conversion. So it looked pretty good. It was a decent little game.
Yep, it's a game I play through at least once a year. Now, did they ever release it for?
Nope.
Okay, I wasn't sure because I know they did.
There's a lot of those poor games that are never going to see the light of day. So you're not going to see Cowboys of Wild West Mesa.
Yeah.
You're not going to see Bucky O'Hare. All those type Spider-Man the arcade game that's gone.
I couldn't remember because it was Konami, if that was one of the games when they did Simpsons on the Xbox, I think 360.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if it must have been a fever dream. It's a shame because, like you said, probably that's a tricky one because I believe the original comic is a British comic, a British company, and I have a completed book comic of it, really good comic. And then you had the cartoon. I forgot who has the rights to the cartoon. If I had to guess, I'd say Deke.
Probably, yeah.
And then you have Konami. So, yeah, it's definitely something that they can never cut through all the red tape to release that.
Konami was weird with their licensed IPs that they used, man. I mean, they had the option. I still think about how weird it was that everybody was doing roller games, and it wasn't even on the air for more than a year. They canceled it. I just went to watch wrestling. I didn't watch roller games. I didn't really care about roller derby. And it was like, yeah, there's a pinball machine, an arcade game, and an NES game. I was like, these guys got a mileage on there, man. They got the mileage. They got out there, man.
They thought it was going to be the next big thing, and they doubled down on it.
They thought it was going to destroy. Like, dude, man, this is going to be bigger than WrestleMania 3 right here. It's like, yeah, we're gonna have 80,000 people watching gimmicked friggin' roller derby matches. Not happening there, kids. Now I think we should go back to the land of pinball because we have to talk about the first Looney Tunes game, and that was Bugs Bunny's Birthday Ball. Ugh. That's all I'm gonna.
I actually liked it when I played it for a little bit. I first played it at Rye Playland in Rye, New York. And then about a few years ago, Canopy Lake Park up here, they have a nice pinball area. The thing that stinks is it's a coin drop. So you have to pay admission to the park and then pay to play pinball. but they have some interesting games. They're in good condition. They had Bugs Bunny's birthday ball. I always want to call it Bugs Bunny's birthday blowout because
Yeah,
believe
that was another game. Yep.
I believe it came out around the same time as that came out on Nintendo. Everything was celebrating Bugs Bunny's birthday.
Mm-hmm.
But I liked it a little bit. I like the carrot flippers. I like the Wile E. Coyote cannon. I think that was a ball save kicker.
Mm-hmm.
And that's about all I remember.
Art by the one and only weirdo Python Angelou.
Yep. The backlash is beautiful.
Oh yeah, that's what I remember. It was like you'd always see that backlash. The weirdest one, like if you ever came across a game and it was like really weird, like it wasn't kept in good condition, like the eyes on Bugs would look really weird because it's like it's a shoot again with him on there, and it has it on there. Like the carrot flippers were iconic on there. I still forget that Honey Bunny is supposedly a character, even though it's basically just Bugs Bunny in drag.
Oh wow, Bally made it.
Yep, it's a Valley game. Yep.
I was gonna say it. If I had to compare it to a game, again, I haven't played it in years, but I vaguely remember thinking it plays like the original Simpsons game by Data East.
Yep.
So I would have guessed Data East made it, not Bally.
Nope. And this was 1990, so yeah, we were right around the same time. And I love it when it's like, you're looking at the flyers and it says, "What's up, Doc? Operator Profits!" Like that. The #1 programming cable syndication on ABC and CBS primetime. But there's another pinball machine I have to talk about. It is what year is this game? Let me see. We are talking 19. Will you give me the damn thing? I got the pictures of it. I got the thank you Pinside for having everything on here. Hold on. Let's see what year this is. Gottlieb, 1963. Slick Chick. Now, Slick Chick is a one-player game. It is an electromechanical pinball machine, and you're probably asking, why am I including it on here? Because it has rabbit girls, but
yeah.
Gerard, we all know it's coming. I'm sorry. I apologize for your nightmares. Here he comes. Are you ready? We're gonna say hi to the one and only Slick Trick Rabbit that's hanging out in the middle of the playfield. This guy is the creepiest looking SOB I've seen in pinball. There he is. With those eyes. One going left, one going right, and he's red, and he just looks like... It looks like basically if you picture like an older version of Buster Bunny from Tiny Toons, but on like a 20-year cocaine binge.
Mm-hmm.
That's the Slick Chick Rabbit right there. A lot of weird rabbits in this game, but it's Gottlieb. It was the 60s. Let's go.
It's got the derpy eyes. Yeah, it actually...
how it looks.
And the rabbit on the lower left, that's a straight up Easter bunny.
Yeah.
Rabbit.
The one on the left looks fine. The one on the right is like, what the hell is this thing?
Yeah, that... I forgot about Slick Chick.
Oh god! When you mentioned rabbits, I was like, "Dude, I gotta do Slick Chick." So, what else we got for the kids over here? We got with rap that they like.
So another one. So it has really only one scene with rabbits, but it has a very bright palette and very kind of springish feeling, and that's, I believe it's pronounced Haka Mecha Fighter.
Haka Mecha Fighter. Haha Mecha Fighter.
Yep. It's a cute 'em up. It was released in 1991 by NMK, who made P47 and a couple other games. And it's kind of like a side-scrolling parody. And basically, it's brightly colored animals. When they fly their planes, sometimes like I think you're an otter, and your lower half sticks out beneath the plane. And it's wacky. Your shots power up and they're like crabs and become fish and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You're fighting other animals in planes, and there's one section where it's just an onslaught of planes with little rabbits in them, and then
Mm-hmm.
bigger planes with like the adult rabbits. But it's like as you shoot them, it's like they multiply
Mm-hmm.
even more and then cover the whole screen. Very peppy music, worth the playthrough because it's wacky art style
Oh yeah.
and just wacky overall.
And of course, another one. Yes, you can play it on Arcade
Yeah.
Archives. Dude, we should just do a whole like thing just dedicated to Arcade
Mhm.
Archives. I think like we should do kind of like what Jay and Mike do on Purple Stuff, and just like
Jay and Matt.
Jay and Matt. Sorry, Matt.
Yeah.
Also Matt. I doubt if anybody's listening. Jay or Matt's listening to this, but I emailed them. I just listened to their Little Shop of Horrors podcast. I was trying to see if I could hook them up with some Little Shop of Games T-shirts. We're getting new ones, but the old ones have the Audrey knockoff on it, so I wanted to get him a shirt. So, but yeah, we should totally do like you and me, like
Our top 5
yeah, do like a top
releases.
5 arcade archives because there is so many games on this thing.
But Haka Fighter, it has that wacky scoring where the difficulty increases. Hacha Mecha Fighter, yeah.
Hacha.
What I mean, it's funny. What does it mean? Like funny punny fighter or something?
Yeah.
It has that wacky scoring where the difficulty increases the better you do,
Mm-hmm.
and there's all these crazy methods for how to play and styles to play
Mm-hmm.
and how to use the bombs. When you do a bomb, you grow super big.
Right.
But worth checking out. There are rabbits in it. The music is peppy as all hell. So it's like a real earworm. I had the song from there's one stage where these lemurs that are dressed in like almost like safari or camping gear start jumping out of trees at you. And there's a song that's just very repetitive.
Oh yeah.
Complete earworm stuck. In fact, I think I'll insert it right now for everyone to
Uh oh,
listen.
here it comes. Yeah.
Yeah, so complete earworm. Crazy game. There's water stages where there's just tons of killer whales jumping up and you have to shoot them and kill them. And a big like a blue whale pops its head up and sprays water out and you got to shoot that. Worth checking out. Again, you can probably find it. I think it's like $6.99 or $5.99 for like the Switch or PlayStation.
Yeah, because yeah, I forgot Arcade Archives is also on PlayStation as well.
Yep.
They're all over the place, man. So that's why we follow them on there. It's like you can definitely get a lot of cool stuff on there.
And
So
I got,
I'm just
oh, you
there
got
you
one?
go. No, I was
I
just
got-
letting you go. Sorry about that.
One last one. A
Ooh,
game
yeah.
that I know you've played it a bunch. I've played it a bunch. I believe we played it together.
Yeah, we played it together.
Waku Waku 7.
Yep, we're giving out a shout out to our girl. Hopefully she's a rabbit. I'm looking at like official artwork of her, and her ears are kind of like almost shaped like dog ears. It's kind of hard to tell.
They are rabbit ears the way they're shaped, like almost like a what like a jackrabbit kind of ears.
Yeah.
They're big and fold over.
It's like I'm looking at her ears and like they're not like perfectly rounded they're lop ears. You know, she's a lop ear bunny.
Yeah.
But
exactly.
Arena is a character from Waku Waku 7 from Sunsoft. That, of course, was a fantastic game that came out in 1996 on the Neo Geo. It, of course, once again, shout outs to Hamster. It's on Nintendo Switch. Like, dude, we just gotta do like an all hamster cast like that. It's like the Arcade Hunters hamster cast. But yeah, you can play it on pretty much everything. Arena is basically a high school student who is trying to use now Waku Waku 7 is basically, it's a parody fighter, so it's very tongue in cheek. It doesn't take itself too seriously. It's a lot of fun. Basically, there's all the characters are trying to basically like Dragon Ball, which we also have to give a special dedication and a shout out to the late Akira Toriyama, who passed away, creator of Dragon Ball. But there's a bunch of weird characters, and they're trying to gain the Waku Waku balls so they can make a wish on it. And her wish is to find what the all the site says is a quote wonderful boyfriend.
And every character in the game is like an anime trope.
Mm-hmm.
You have,
and of course, she gets. Yep.
As I say, you have the big. I think it's supposed to be a bunny. That purple thing's basically was it Totoro?
It's Totoro. It's Totoro. Yeah.
You have a police mecha that's being controlled by two. I think it's two dogs.
Yep.
That you have the half human, half. Oh no. Well, yeah, we already did talk about that. You had was it a robotic maid?
Yep.
You have
Tessie.
And is his name Slash?
Yeah, Slash is the like the dark elf guy with the sword.
Yep.
There's Rai, who's like basically the Shoto protagonist in there. Now, if Farina wins the game, they basically pair her. Like, there's these fairies that they grant her a wish, but she gets paired up with Rai, and she hates them, so she beats the crap out of him. Obviously, Pol Tank Z is the Hatsumake and Kojiro. Those are the two characters. And there's Dandy J. He's got his daughter Natsumi, and Maru is the Totoro character.
Yeah.
We have to talk about the mid and the final boss. So we'll talk about the final boss first. He's a big, glowy, like black orb with devil wings. His name is Fernandez. And what's funny is that Fernandez is basically a gigantic friggin' like kaiju monster. So when you fight him, you also become a giant kaiju and you fight him. But we have to talk about the mid-boss, the one, the only, Bonus-kun.
Yep, who returns from Galaxy Fight.
Yep, from Galaxy Fight. Now, Bonus-kun is a Street Fighter knockoff. It's basically, he is a punching bag with the eyebrows, like the dark eyebrows, really pissed off looking, and a Ryu red bandana on him.
And he does Hadouken. And he yells out Hadouken.
Yep. He spits fireballs out of his mouth. He does hurricane kicks. He does, but he's definitely a joke character, and it's kind of hard to actually lose to him, but yeah.
Well, no, he's like a bonus, so you can't lose. If you lose when you fight him, your game continues.
Yeah, he just says farewell. I was like, I have to find a stronger opponent or something like that. But it even says blood type, sand. Like that. Likes, training, dislikes, defeat. But yeah, I love that game. It's a lot of fun. It's super stupid.
Great animation. The sprites, everything's moving around, which, I mean, Neo Geo is known for that with their fighting games, but fun game, very fast paced. Has the charge meter, has some specials.
Mm-hmm.
I'd put it up there almost with like Garou as far as
it's a fun game.
One of those like easy to play, hard to master type games. You can pick it up pretty quickly and play it and have fun, but if you want to get really good at it, it takes some time. And
speaking of a sister Sunsoft game, I know there was a Sunsoft collection that had it in there. Another game to mention, another arcade game, is Galaxy Fight, or Universal Warriors, who has a character girl. Her name is Rumi, and yes, she's a bunny girl.
Yep.
She's got like the big paws on there. Galaxy Fight is a weird game. It's like I know a lot of folks will know that from the Sega Saturn era on there. So
yeah, both are
Neo Geo and Sega Saturn. Yep.
Yeah, and the Waku Waku 7 port on Saturn I've heard is garbage.
Yes, pretty much. Thank God for MAME.
Yeah,
you get some good stuff on there.
And Arcade Archives.
Absolutely. Thank you. Hey, shout outs to Hamster.
Yeah, I would love if we got sponsored by Hamster and Liquid Death.
Oh yeah. Liquid Death, the quench your thirst. Oh, speaking of Liquid Death, a little tangent. So, they've been making like iced tea flavors, right?
Yep.
So I just noticed that one of the iced teas that I like, if it's ever in the refrigerator and it's cold, I'll buy it. They have like an Arnold Palmer version,
Yep.
and it was called Armless Palmer. So recently, someone handed me a can, and I looked at it. And I was like, "Oh, rocking the Armless Palmer, huh?" And it's like, "Yeah, it's really good." But I looked at it, and the name is different. It's called Dead Billionaire now.
Do you know why?
They got sued.
They got threatened. Yep, by the
Really?
They got threatened by whatever company. I'm guessing Arizona or whatever. Yep.
Yeah.
By the either Arizona or someone related to Arnold Palmer. They threatened them, so that's why they changed the name to Dead Billionaire. Dead Billionaires.
Oh God, I can't believe they did that. I was like, I think that's gonna get them more in trouble that they called it that.
They had a press release talking about how this company was worried that it would get mixed up with the other company and blah blah blah, and basically saying how a group of people who have more money than God did not like the name, so he figured we change the name again to represent what they are, blah blah blah, and they changed it to Dead Billionaires.
My favorite is still the one of Liquid Death where someone said their daughter like got a good grade on her report card, so they gave her a can of the sparkling water, and she was going to drink it in school, and one of the teachers freaked out, and they're like, "How can you give your kid alcohol like that?"
Oh,
it's like
I drink it at school all the time. That's all I drink because I have. So what I found is, what I like about Liquid Death, their seltzers and their iced teas, they don't use artificial sweeteners.
Yep.
Artificial sweeteners, if I have too much, I have a migraine. They trigger my
Hashtag
migraine.
not sponsor.
Yeah.
Hashtag not sponsor.
So I always have like in the staff fridge, like an 8-pack, and I'm every day I'm walking around drinking them, and a couple teachers have done double takes, and I go to meetings with it, and people do double takes, and I'll be like, relax, it's just water.
It's like you should just basically get one of those what do you call them? Those I forget the names of those big cups that everybody, those Stanley cups, and just drink out of that. Then they wouldn't say anything.
Oh no, it's perfectly fine. No one says anything now. They just know it. In fact, one of the staff members got me a bunch of cans for Christmas.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's the gift that keeps on giving. Hashtag not sponsored.
Yep.
So do we have anything else for the kids out there today? I think we did a good job.
I think that's it. We covered news, and we covered. I know we've been trying to talk about some Rabbit Easter themed games for multiple years, and the stars just haven't aligned. And
now they finally did. We got our Rabbit games.
Yep. There's still some other games which we can always talk about next time. One I wanted to talk about, but I never played it, was that fighting game Rabbit.
Which one? Fighting game Rabbit?
There's an arcade fighting game called Rabbit. I forgot who put it out. I think all the characters are different, like rabbit fighters.
Overgrowth Bunny Warfare? That's not it.
Yeah.
Rabbit Super Combo Wiki.
Yep.
What? It's from. What system is it? This is on
Aorn 1997. It's an arcade game.
Yeah. It's called Rabbit, but I don't see any rabbits in there. They're just like they're human beings on there. One of the characters almost looks like a girl playing it.
Oh, I might be mixing it up with. There's rabbits.
Where?
And animals.
That's weird. Yeah. Oh yeah. You spirit animal system. I see.
Yeah.
Crap. We could have talked about Alice in Bloody Roar. Turns into a rabbit.
Yeah. I know. Yep. I know that. I left that one out. There's always
shout out to Alice. We got all the rabbits over here. And that also shout outs to one of the worst video games that I've ever played, and that of course is Sailor Moon, the arcade game, because once again her name means rabbit, but it is one of the worst games I've ever played.
Yep. Another honorable, would you call it an honorable mention?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah,
Dishonorable mention.
Dishonorable
and everybody's
mention.
like, "Oh, you must." It's like, hey, I remember when we went to Otakon, one of my last Otakons in Baltimore, and someone said, "Hey, Nick, you're never gonna believe what someone brought." I said, "What did someone bring?" "Someone brought the Sailor Moon arcade game." I was like, "Have fun. That game sucks." They're like,
Yeah.
"What?" I said, "Dude, I told them, I said, thank God for Maine," and they said, "I played it." That was like, I'm not one of those people that like get mad and snap the controller or throw the controller across the room, but you get into like the last stage. Now, the last stage, the villain Queen Beryl, she floats at just the right level where she can hit you, but you can't hit her. And it doesn't matter what character you play. It messes you up. If you want to play a Sailor Moon beat 'em up, just play the games on Super Nintendo or on Super Famicom and Sega Genesis or Mega Drive. Just play those, and they're a lot better, a lot more fun, and they're like half an hour and you get off. That thing, it was padded for so much time because the game is so hard. They build tons of enemies at you. You get ganged up constantly, and then I've never played a game where you get like bombs and stuff like that. So you go around and you gather crystals. And the more crystals, supposedly, the bigger damage your attack does. I literally had like 4 or 5 crystals. I don't know how I saved it up, because when you die, yeah, you lose your crystals. You go back to having 2. I saved like 3 or 4 crystals, and I did it. And the enemy was in the middle of a jump.
Mm-hmm.
And because it was in the middle of a jump, it did not register the attack, and the character jumped and kicked me, and it killed me. I was just like, no, I can't play this game. Fuck this game. So,
I remember playing it briefly with you at Pinball Wizards.
yes.
And
I was just like, this is the worst beat 'em up that you'll ever play. She had that, and that was Sarah had that in tied back to the beginning.
Yep.
He had that in the Ninja Gaiden cab. The thing weighed like 400 pounds. I was like, no, thank you. I heard like when Gary got rid of that at Fun Spot, he basically said, "Yeah, $25. The game's yours. Just get the fuck out of here." They said they could not move that thing. I was like, "Yeah, I don't blame you. That thing was a tank." So, once again, we want to thank you all very much for listening to us here on the Arcade Hunters podcast. We wish you all a very happy Passover, very happy Easter. I know a lot of folks out there. I had a couple folks like, it sucks when you work at a grocery store and people are like, "Yeah, I'm fasting. I ate a holiday." I was like, "I'm sorry that you have to be at a grocery store while you're fasting." And like, dude, I have to buy food anyway. It doesn't matter if I can eat it or not. I was like, yeah, you're right about that. So once again, you can find us on all of your favorite social media sites. Find us on the YouTubes. Find us on the Twitters, the X, the Instagram, all the other places on there. Remember to like, subscribe. Make sure, if you're listening to this and you like it, make sure to give us a review. It really helps people find the show.
Yep, definitely write reviews. I'm thinking we used to do some giveaways and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Based on reviews and certain things. I'm thinking maybe we start that up again this summer.
Yeah. And do like, hey, the secret keyword is, bananas. Like that. Here you go. Say what the secret keyword is, and we'll enter you.
Yep.
For a chance to win.
Yep. Or write a review, and you'll be entered for a chance to win.
We like it. So, Gerard, anything else to add?
Nope. Just keep checking the social medias, and hope everyone has, like you said, safe, fun, happy, healthy Easter, Passover, whatever you celebrate. Happy spring equinox, whatever you celebrate. Have fun.
Absolutely. So once again, thank you for all your friends here at the Arcade Hunters. We'll talk to you later. Take care.